So before I introduce Greg, I want to start in prayer. So if you guys want to bow your heads. Father God, we come to you. We ask that you would open up our mind, body, and spirit. We ask that you would allow us to receive the message today. God, I ask that the seeds that are planted today would grow incredible fruit in each one of these young men in their lives, in their families, in their communities, Lord. We trust that you're going to make an impact. We trust that you're going to make purpose. So we stand with you, God. I ask that if there's any spirit that is trying to distract from any one of these individuals, that it would be cast out now in the name of Jesus. That there's power in that name, and we stand with that name. And everybody here said amen.
Amen.
Amen. So today you guys get an opportunity to hear from a guy who, like I said, is a great friend of mine. I've watched him not only grow in his career, but I've watched him grow in his family life as a father, as a husband. I'm so honored to know him. He's somebody who really defied all the odds. Coming from an impoverished neighborhood in Cincinnati, growing up in Section 8 housing, which are the projects of Cincinnati.
Projects.
And who really busted his tail for everything he had.
Projects.
With everything against him in his personal reality, he dug deep inside himself to start changing his environment. Growing up in that environment to become an All-American football player and a Super Bowl champion. So he's going to tell you a little bit more. So if I can get a raucous round of applause for Mr. Greg Brown.
How long do I got?
You go 30 and then we'll open up for
That's why I had it. Okay, good. What's up, y'all? Y'all good? Y'all good? You awake back there? What's up, Mr. Go Blue? You awake? Yeah? Yeah? All right, guys, I'll get right into it, all right? A little bit more about myself. When Kenny talked about being Section 8 housing, really for me, I'll kind of really paint a picture for my life growing up in Cincinnati. I grew up in the area where you weren't even allowed to have pizza delivered to your home or your apartment, or like you talk about in the projects. Like legitimately, we would call and he said, "Sir, we don't deliver it there, you're gonna have to come pick it up." So I said, okay. And when you got there, on top of the fact that they didn't deliver, they had it barred, okay? They had the pizza place barred. You had to slide your money in through one slot and then they would slide the pizza out the other. And I'm not trying, to really paint like, I need pity or anything like that. I'm not, I promise you. But the reason why I'm telling you guys about, that scenario in my life is because a lot of people see me like today and really believe, right? I was always, a Super Bowl champion and believe that, I was always a Big Ten champion, or believe that I always went 3-1 versus Michigan. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, dog? You know what I'm saying, dog? You know what I'm saying? 3-1, dog. I can go, man. I can go. I can go. You not there yet, bruh. You not there yet, bruh. Anyhow, I couldn't resist. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist, guys. I couldn't resist. It was just rising up. All right, I'll go back to the script. All right, so I'm in Cincinnati. I mean, like I told you, they would do stuff like they'll call the pizza guy there. The pizza guy, not super smart, will leave the door open, okay, like leave it unlocked. They would deliver one pizza to one spot. Meanwhile, 3-4 other guys come around, take the other pizzas out the car. And I laugh about it now because I'm like, wow, like I actually lived through that. I actually lived through the gang violence. I got offered to be in gangs several times, right? And I laughed at that too because I'm like, man, these 3-4 guys think they're a gang. Meanwhile, they don't know where they're going, right? I grew up around the suicides a lot too. Guys just lost. So instead of actually looking to find help, they committed suicide in the neighborhood. I'm talking about consistently patrol cops all the time, To the point, I mean, they would come by, they knew everybody's name by first name. So I want to paint that picture to you guys because life for me, all right, did not start out great. You guys are here right now with a very, very beautiful and great opportunity, and you need to take advantage of it. Because me and Ken, we go to places and we go to schools, and it's not that great. It's very much like the town that I grew up in Cincinnati. My mom called me, I want to say it's my sophomore year or freshman year in college, and she called me, she said, "Sweetie, the house next door just got hit by a SWAT team, big drug bust." About 6 months ago, more recently, there was reported about 15 homicides in just the area alone. And it's very real, and it makes you guarded, it does. It makes you guarded as a person. And you guys, and I get the question a lot, well, so how did it all start? So I'll lighten it up a little bit. 8 years old, it started for me when I first played my first football game, all right? But before that, I really, for me to be here right now talking in front of you guys is so surreal because I was not like this at all. I was a guy that would sit in the back, right, and try to fall asleep, and I didn't want to be involved. I didn't make a whole lot of trouble or anything like that. I didn't think I would deserve to be out in front at the time. Wasn't who I was. But at age 8, I took a flyer from the school. All the kids were gathered around and said, "Hey, we're going to play football. You should play. You're pretty good on recess and stuff like that." I said, "Cool." So I bring the flyer home to my mom, and we get in the car and we're driving. I show her the flyer. She says, "No. You're too small, you're gonna get hurt." That's what she told me, all right? So I knew my dad was coming home real late at night, and I knew I had opportunity. This is before, cell phones were real popular, okay? My mom didn't have a cell phone, so I waited by the door. I'm talking about before my dad could get the door open, I already had the flyer in his hand, like in his face, like, "I want to play this." And what do you guys think my dad said? Anybody know? What do you guys think? Who said no? Who said no? Who says yes? Who says yes? Yeah, he said yes, all right, because he's so awesome, all right? And my dad said yes, and he didn't tell my mom. I always remember that to this day. He never told my mom. He let my mom find out. She's like, "Where you at?" He's like, "We're on the football field." He never, you know what I mean? He just had to eventually tell her, but he never told her immediately to get me in trouble. And so my dad took me to Play It Again Sports. How many people know what Play It Again Sports is by show of hand? Who knows what it is? Can you tell everybody what Play It Again Sports is?
Yes, it's a used sports store.
It's a used sports store. That means I didn't get a chance to go to Dick's or Dunham's or any place that you guys have here. And on top of that, though, my dad, never played a sport in his life, and he left me with my baseball pants, okay, with football pads, okay? For those in the room that actually played a sport that know that doesn't work out, all right? So I spent my whole entire football practice running around and my pads falling out my pants. And being the great dad my dad was, or is, excuse me, he took his shirt off his back, put it on my shoulder pads, and that was actually my first jersey, okay? That's age 8. That's how it started for me, right? And I tell you guys that story once again because everybody, like I run into it all the time, and people are like, "Man, you got so much money and you do all this stuff." I'm saying that's not the case. I always didn't have it like that, man. I've continued to work ever since then. And like Kenny talked about, I'm a Section 8 kid. That means I'm hungry. For those that know what Section 8 is, that's lower income housing. That's government housing. The government gave that too because, like Jay-Z said, you know what they call a project? Because it's a project. It's an idea that's supposed to stick around, and sometimes they don't always stick around. You guys get where I'm going with this, guys? You guys understand that? All right. So I want to fast forward to high school. I'm starting to get really good at football, and my mom presents me with 3 options, okay? She says, "You're getting pretty good. What do you want to do?" I said, "Well, I want to play college football." She says, "Well, here's your options are. You can take out a loan, okay? You can take out a loan and try to, go to school, pay your way, and figure it out yourself." I said, "Okay." She said, "Well, you're getting pretty decent at basketball." She said, "Try to switch sports and go to the community college at Cincinnati Tech." And I didn't want to do that. At the time, I was sick of Cincinnati. I was ready to leave. And then she said, well, you could earn a scholarship. I said, well, what's that? She said, that's where somebody comes, gives you a full ride, they pay for everything, and you get to play whatever sport that you want to play. And then my mind started to go, right? And the first thing I thought about was, how am I going to separate myself from all the millions and millions of athletes trying to do the same thing? Because there are, right? There are millions and millions of players with the same idea that says, I want to play college football, that say I want to go to the NFL. And just so you guys know, this isn't just about this isn't a football talk, this is life. Because all of you are going to pick a profession or something, there's going to be a lot of other people trying to do the same exact thing that you're trying to do. And how are you going to separate yourself? So what I did was, you guys know what Rivals.com is that's still around, right? Still around thing? Okay, so I went to Rivals.com. I'm not ranked. I mean, I'm talking about 0 stars. I'm kind of like my man up there, right? Like 0 stars, you know what I'm saying? 0 stars, nobody knows. It's too easy, dude. It's just 0 stars, you know, and nobody know who I was. Like, not at all, right? Not a clue. No one know who I was. So I'm thinking to myself, like, how am I going to separate myself? And I told my mom, I said, well, I need extra training. And she said, sweetie, you know we don't have the money. What are you going to do? I said, well, I could work, right? I could work. So I want to actually, I'm going to come back to it, though, but I'm going to actually rewind just a little bit. Is anybody here, as far as the kids, does anybody argue with their parents about chores? Show of hands. Show your hands. Show your hands. Put them up high. Come on, be honest. Come on. Good. I want to tell you about something, okay? I want to tell you about something, right? And I'll get back to it. My mom used to come home and say, when she leave the house, she said, when I get back, because I got home before her sometimes, this is early on, she said, I want you to clean the house and do the dishes before I get home. Has anybody ever heard that before? Okay, good. Okay. I'm going to tell you my version of cleaning the house and doing the dishes, okay? So I had a Super Nintendo and I had one game that was Super Mario, all right? And I loved that game. I still do, all right? And my mom, I could hear my mom, right, starting to pull in to the driveway. Right at this time, we had like a very, very small house, still do, very, very small house. I could hear her coming into the driveway. As she's coming into the driveway, what did I do? Right? I run upstairs, right? I try to get everything ready to go, right? My heart is beating fast, right? And then on top of that, I didn't even wash the dishes. I just wiped them off and I put them in the rack. You know what I mean? And my mom came home and she just yelled. She said, Greg, why aren't the dishes clean? I said, well, you know, I was playing my video game, and she said, that's not an excuse. She said, one day these chores that you're doing, washing dishes, what you're doing is going to make you a man. And I said, no, it's not. She said, yes, it will. Do the dishes, clean the house up. And I'm hard-headed, okay? I'm hard-headed. So this happened like 3 or 4 times. And eventually she started taking away sports. She said, if you want to do the chores, you can find another way to do sports. And I said, well, I don't want to do that. So I started doing the dishes. I got really, really good at it. So fast forward, right, I told you I had to work for. What do you guys think my first job was? Dishwashing, right? I went to Moeller High School, very, very similar setup to this, okay? So at 6 a.m., my father, okay, at 6 a.m., my father would drop me off, right, in the cafeteria, right, with the lunch ladies, all right, the beautiful people that they are, all right? She would drop me in there. I would have to get the dishes, or get everything ready to go, get the food set up, wash the dishes after breakfast, okay? So I got to tell you about some great friends I have, okay? I want to tell you about some great friends I had in high school. And what they would do is, as I'm washing dishes, they would take syrup, ketchup, everything, like untouched plates, and throw it in the sink, knowing I have to clean it up, hairnet, apron, and all. And they laughed at me. over and over and over again. They laughed at me, but I kept working because what they didn't know was that I was training when they were sleeping. I was doing what it takes. And the problem I get with some of you guys, right, is that you guys tell me these crazy goals you have for yourself, and I say crazy in the sense that the amount of success that you could have. And I'm like, are you going to work for it? Like, do I got to fight to keep you out the weight room? Do I got to fight to keep you from studying? Do I got to fight, you know what I mean? Like really, really pull you away just so you can have a life, because that's what it was for me. My mom used to have to surprise me. She would take me from practice and surprise me to take me to David & Buster's because I was that involved, that engaged into my craft. I was willing to do what it takes on a continuous basis to separate myself from everybody else. And a lot of you don't want to do that because it looks like hard work sometimes, and then the second it doesn't work out a little bit, you want to give up. And I can honestly tell you, I played with a lot of guys in a lot of different places, and the ones that make it are the ones that don't give up, even when it looks hard at first. Even when you fail a few times, even when you break your leg, okay, and they tell you it's done, and you recruit within 6 months, and you make another team. I'm not lying to you guys. That happened to me. But I gotta ask the question, if it happened to you, what would you do? I told you, look, you see the scar? See that? That's a plate. And I can still run with some of you guys, okay? I can still run. All right, I'm messing. But my point being, guys, is that you gotta do what it takes to separate yourself. You have to do what it takes to separate yourself. The other thing I want to ask you guys as well, too, about your goals that you set for yourself. Are you interested in those things, or are you committed? Because some of you guys, you know, you get real interested like, Coach, man, like, I really love this thing. I really love it. Like, I get to put on the uniform. I get to put on the purple and gold, right? I look good in the pictures. Look at my man, got 2 basketballs, right? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I'm just joking, guy. I like that picture a lot. I like that picture a lot. I'm just messing though. But honestly though, right? But I wonder the hard work. I wonder if we took a picture of the hard work, what would it look like? You get what I'm saying? I wonder if we took away the basketball, took away the uniform, and I came and watched you, right? And morning runs and lifting. What would that picture look like? Would you be so proud to be like, man, this is me? Or do we got more work to do? Yeah? You guys see what I'm saying? Right? It's very important that if you are committed to this thing, it doesn't matter about how cold it is. It's funny, man, the other day I was with a group and I was talking to the kids and they were talking about what schools they want to go to, right? And it was kind of cold at the time and nobody wanted to go work out. And then I asked them, I said, show of hand, I said, if the University of Minnesota asked you to go play football, would you say yes? Oh my goodness, all the hands went up. But then when I ask them to work out, when it's a little bit chilly outside, oh, Coach, it's too cold. I can't do it, Coach. I just can't do it. I can't go out there. It's too cold. I can't do it. Oh, my God, Coach, I can't do it. It's too cold, right? Or when it gets real warm outside, right? And I said, if you had to go play for the University of Miami in Florida, would you go do it? Oh, yeah, Coach, I'm in. Oh, Coach, it's too hot. Oh, my God, I can't do it. It's too hot outside. I can't train out here, right? Because you're so interested, right, into playing on Saturdays and winning rings, but you're not committed to the work. And Ken, like he talked about, what started to make me separate myself from other individuals is that I not only got committed to the work, I started loving the work. I started enjoying coming to the weight room. I couldn't wait to leave the house. And we were just talking about having the passion is what carries you. And I also think some of the issues is that we're picking stuff that we really don't care about doing. Some of us are picking sports or a profession and we really don't care about it. There's a video that me and Ken showed to the parents that talks about flow theory, and it talks about having intrinsic values in yourselves that make you want to do something more, and a lot of you aren't picking something that you really truly care about. So then when it gets tough, you give up and you quit. But for me, I couldn't do that. As Ken talked about, I'm an only child Section 8 housing. If I give up and I quit, everybody else is going to give up and quit. I've been working way too hard to give up and quit. And some of you, because it wasn't hard enough or it didn't matter enough to you to be involved in whatever you're doing, right, it's really easy for you to give up. It's really easy for you to quit. In this talk, I'm not trying to tell you guys like I'm yelling at you. I'm just trying to tell you that you gotta really love what you do past every single obstacle, even your own family. Because I had so much family come to my when I got drafted, I had so much family that come to my draft party. Oh my God. Family I never heard about. All the time. Oh man, we can't wait, Greg, can't wait. And then I asked the same people at my party, I said, remember when I was at Michigan State and we didn't have like a few good years and the tickets were free? How come you didn't want to come then? And remember when I was in Little League and you heard about me balling out and I had troubles making it to practice? How come you didn't come help me then? And it was just like this, man. It was real quiet. So then when I went to the Super Bowl and they were asking for tickets, I said, remember when? They said, nah, you're right, G, we good. That's right, you stay your butt at home. I'm being for real, man. Because, dog, like if you're not there grinding, it's not worth it to you when I get to the Super Bowl. You're just there for a free ride. Not there because you committed to the process, and you have to. The other thing I want to talk about, guys, as well, does anybody have a dream? Show your hand. If you have a dream or a goal, please show your hand. Please, guys. Anybody? Good. Leave them up, please. Leave them up. Good. I want you to look at something, okay, with your dreams and your goals, okay? Hold that up. Come on, Ohio State. Come on, big. You got the biggest hand in the room, dog. You better hold that arm up. All right? You a big dude, man. I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you. You got to talk to your boy to get him picked up, okay? Anyhow, hold that arm up. I want you guys to notice something. You are holding your own dream and your own goal up. There's no reason why you should be pointing to anybody else, right, for your dream or your goal. A lot of people will come to me will say, well, Coach, you put your arms down. I know you're getting tired. They come to me and they say, Coach, well, I can't make it because of this person. I can't make it because of my mom. I can't make it because this dude doesn't like me. Who's accountable for your dreams and your goals? You are. Why? Because you set them for yourself. There shouldn't be anybody that comes to you to tell you what your dream and your goal should look like when it's your dream and your goal that God gave you in your heart and your soul. Because I get it all the time, well, Coach, I don't got a ride. I can't get there. I'm like, bro, it's 2020. You can figure some things out. There's an app for everything. Figure it out. Don't tell me that you can't do it. I had a young man come up to me and said, well, Coach, he's playing basketball. He said, Coach, I'm trying to find more players that want to go to the next level. I said, well, did you go look for them? He says, well, I come to Lifetime every day and they're not here. I said, bro, no offense, but I mean, I'm just getting off of work, dog. I just came to get some cardio. I'm not the right person to be trying to help you reach your dream and your goals, to be quite honest with you. I'm pretty decent, but I'm getting old. As you can see, I got to play my ankle. It hurts sometimes. I said, you got to start putting yourself around the right types of people. And that leads me to my next thing. You talked about decision making. I want to tell you guys a couple stories. About decision making. One of them is a guy named Tyler Sash. You guys can look him up when I get done. But Tyler Sash, I played with in the New York Giants. Went to Iowa. Okay, was a really, really great player, great ball player. And Tyler, when I met him, we got drafted. Like I said, we were both 6th-round guys. So we got in, we're both like 4th string when we got to New York. All right, we're both 4th string guys. All right, we're rookies. We're just knowing we're trying to make the roster, okay? That's all we're trying to do at the time. Well, so then Tyler comes up to me and I see him. I said, bro, you got moved up with the 2s. I said, how did you do that so far? I mean, this is like 1 weekend. He's like, well, I take Adderall. I'm like, okay. I said, what's that? And he's like, well, you know, it helps me with memorization, helps me study. I said, okay. He said, did you want some? I said, no, I'm gonna use flashcards. Anybody use flashcards still? They work, all right, saved my career. I just want to say it works, okay? Anyhow, so I said, okay, cool, you're using Adderall. I don't want to do that. I'm going to use flashcards. He said, well, we're going out tonight, too. Tyler liked to party and do all these things. On top of the fact, he was coming in like eyes bloodshot, you know what I mean? You can smell everything he did the last night before through his pores. He was just not really making a lot of right decisions at the time. And then he got nicked up. He hurt his shoulder. So then he started taking hydrocodone for his shoulder. And then he got hurt again, hurt his other shoulder, and he started taking Percocet. All right? All while doing Adderall and drinking and going out, okay? He's a professional athlete. And I'm telling you guys this story because, you know what I mean, we fast forward and I'm 31 now, and my good friend, you know, and I didn't see it, right? Or at least I didn't think I saw it because, you know, he got reported on SportsCenter. He was running from the cops and they found him, you know, hiding behind a tree. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh, that's just Tyler, right? In my head, I'm just thinking that, man, he's just going through one of those phases again. And I never reached out to him. I got his number, never reached out to him, right? Fast forward a little bit more, the story comes out on Outside the Lines. You guys can look it up. And my good friend, my buddy, he passed away at 23 years old, right? And I'm not like trying to, you know, make you guys feel like super sad about that. But there were some decisions that were made on both my end and his end. Tyler knew that he was not in good shape and kept making the wrong decision. I made a decision to just kind of dismiss the fact when really I should have stepped up and said something. And some of you got to have a tough conversation with your circles about the decisions that are being made. Because even the people that you are around, they affect you every single day. The next story I want to tell you guys about, his name is Rob Edens, okay? Rob Edens from Detroit, played against him in the CFL and in the NFL. And Rob, you know, he has one boy, all right? And Rob, really good guy, really funny. But this goes about the people you hang around with, okay? Just so everybody knows, this goes about the people you hang around with. And Rob decided to hang with somebody he barely knew. All right? He goes out, him and his buddy have money, they have a good night out, they spend all the money, and what he didn't know is that the guy he was with stole money from drug dealers, and they were followed to an apartment where the other guy was at, and both those guys lost their lives. And it was really sad. I mean, his mom, I mean, he left his son, who would have been the same age as my oldest boy, about 4 or 5. And And I tell you guys that because some of you guys hang with people, right? Because I see it in the group chat, and you hang with people and you don't know what they're really doing. And you think it won't affect you. And it will. And for my good friend Rob, it ended up being a fatal decision. Guys, I got like a minute and 30 seconds left of my time, but I wanted to honestly say, I know the culture is here, all right? And, you know, all jokes aside, I'm gonna have a good talk with my man after this, but all jokes aside, I'm so thankful that you guys allowed me to come here and speak today, honestly, because, like I said, I'm a Section 8 kid from Cincinnati, Ohio. I never thought I would even leave Cincinnati, and you guys brought me in here today to speak. We're gonna do Q&A for a little bit. But guys, that's my time for speaking. Does anybody have any? Yeah, you guys go ahead. That's my time, guys. Thank you guys, I appreciate it, man. Thank you.